All right, today is April 29th, 2025. It's a Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Nicholas Snider. This is First Alert Plus. So we are tracking some stronger storms to the region's west, and those storms will be eventually moving their way closer and closer to our area this evening. That's what we're diving into this evening. Strong evening storms and into the early portions of the overnight as well. Meanwhile, we're tracking some storms that will be headed on in for the day Thursday. And the pattern beyond Thursday and Friday looks a bit uncertain. Things are kind of up in the air. We got some interesting things showing up on our forecast models, and of course we will track it all for you as we move forward here. Again, the big things we are talking about here. Let's get right into it. Our water vapor satellite picture showing, of course, our area of low pressure here. I'll pull myself up so you can see it. An area of low pressure now located over southern Ontario right about here. A trailing cold front down to about this general area. We saw lines of storms come on through central Ohio today and into western Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh area saw 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts out of that line of storms. That just missed us to the north. We're tracking, though, another line of storms, and we'll zoom on into that right now. Kind of show you what exactly we are looking at. Let's zoom into our area. We got a severe thunderstorm watch that is in place. Let's highlight that for you right now. In this pink area, which is highlighted for you in this blue circle that I'm about to draw, right in here is a severe thunderstorm watch till 1 in the morning. That includes all of our eastern Kentucky counties, and that includes Pike County in Ohio and Scioto County in Ohio as well. Again, that's until 1 a.m. We got this line of storms that is tracking out of central Kentucky right now, moving through the Lexington area and working its way further and further off to the east. We'll see if it holds together. Conditions are favorable in that watch for these storms to hold together, and the main threat here will be gusty winds up to 70 miles an hour in some of those storms. That is what we're tracking for the rest of your evening here. So let's give you the current watches and warnings rundown. Again, that severe thunderstorm watch was through midnight. Now it's through 1 a.m. Again, that's for Pike County, Ohio, Scioto County, Ohio, and the rest of us in that watch would be eastern Kentucky. If you live in eastern Kentucky and are within the WSAZ viewing area, you are under that severe thunderstorm watch until 1 a.m. A couple of severe thunderstorm warnings also showing up here. Mainly northern Kentucky into southwest Ohio towards Cincinnati. Central Kentucky near the Lexington area, we are seeing, of course, that severe thunderstorm watch in place, or rather severe thunderstorm warning in place there as well. Let's head right to the computer here, give you kind of a rundown of the environment we are in. This is going to be very important for what we see a little bit later on for your day today. So this is a really important tool forecasters like to use. This is called the mesoscale analysis. This comes from the National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma. These red areas you're seeing is an indication of thunderstorm energy, or convective available potential energy, to kind of give you a more fancy term there. The blue area, you see an atmosphere worked over. Remember, we saw that line of storms come through central Ohio a little bit earlier today, and that's really worked over the atmosphere. So southern Ohio, I think your threat's pretty much over. But in eastern Kentucky, we have an uncapped atmosphere, meaning the atmosphere is ripe for these storms that are back here toward Lexington to continue pushing off to the east and feed on that energy. Hence the severe thunderstorm watch that is in place. You add that to a good amount of winds changing speed with height, increasing speed with height. That helps storms become a bit more organized here. This 30 to 25 right here is the perfect conditions for storms to stay organized in a line. And that's another thing we're looking at here with that. If this can nudge a little bit further to the south, we'll be looking at even longer lasting storms here, and that's what we want to see. For at least the storms, want to see that for continuing to stay organized through the end of the night. Meanwhile, this is what we look at, a graph of winds with height. There is a little bit of curvature with the winds with height. You see that here in this blue highlighted zone. That could mean that there could be a spin-up tornado threat, though that threat is ultimately low. I think our tornado threat this evening is not really going to be existent. It's primarily straight line winds up to 70 miles an hour, 65 miles an hour as the common theme here. But we're going to still keep a very close eye on it. And even with a little bit of this curvature, rotating storms could produce some hail. So hail is not out of the question here as well, moving forward through much of the night. Of course, severe thunderstorm warning still in place for Lexington, Kentucky, and that will continue to work east. Again, that environment will continue to be favorable for a good chunk of the night here. So we'll continue to watch that. Let's head back to our Futurecast and kind of show you what we're looking at in terms of the system that will continue to be coming on through this evening. So take this time that you see up here, that 5 p.m., you can add a few minutes to that up here. That 5 p.m. time frame, you can add a few hours to that. Our storms are coming in a little bit later than what we expected here. Again, these storms were originally expected to come through around the 5 p.m. hour. Now they're coming through a little bit later. So let's say 7, 8 p.m. for areas such as eastern Kentucky. That's kind of the main thing we'll be looking at here. Going forward a little bit further into time toward the Wednesday morning time frame, that Wednesday morning time frame shows a few isolated showers down here into far southeastern Kentucky along and south of I-64. What's going to happen there is the front that's coming through right now is going to stall out. And as that front does stall out, it will allow some more moisture and energy to lift up a little bit of shower activity tomorrow morning. Most of us north of I-64 should stay dry. River City should stay dry. Charleston should stay dry at least tomorrow. As we move forward here, you'll notice a few more storms kind of trying to pop during the evening time frame tomorrow in southeast Kentucky. We'll see this front nudge back to the north. It'll pull in some more energy along with it, and we'll have to watch for the potential of some more storms in eastern Kentucky tomorrow. Now, the good news is the storms in eastern Kentucky tomorrow not expected to be severe, and they'll be very isolated in nature. I do think we get a little bit dry time tomorrow, but unfortunately, with all the rain we are going to be seeing a little bit later today, it'll make it difficult for you to, say, mow the grass or anything like that. So yard work is going to be tough over the next few days here over much of the region. We're not done with strong storms after tonight as well. We're talking about more strong storms as we head into Thursday. Let's dive into this. Atmospheric energy, we've shown you this map before right here. That little blob you see here over St. Louis right here, that is what we know as upper level spin, upper level energy that will develop an area of low pressure downwind of that, and a trailing cold front downwind of that as well. We're going to watch that for the potential of some more storms. It's not just the American model showing this, it's the European model showing this as well as it moves forward. There we go, up toward the St. Louis area. Downwind of that, we see an area of low pressure that will develop into more areas of low pressure as we head into Thursday. And, of course, another cold front that will come on through Thursday evening. Downwind of this, we're going to get moisture streaming in from the Gulf once again. That'll lift up the front, and we're going to see more storms headed into Thursday. Now, the chance for severe storms is a little bit lower on Thursday in comparison to, of course, what we will be seeing, at least this evening. We don't have quite as much of that thunderstorm energy that we did have available this evening for those storms, but still, that area of low pressure is going to do its thing on Thursday, and that's something we are going to have to watch closely for some gusty storms as well. So let's head back to the computer, and I'll kind of give you a rundown of what we are seeing for Thursday's setup. Thursday's setup is going to be an interesting one. Not quite as, again, strong as what we're seeing today, but certainly going to be a setup that is worth watching. Thunderstorm energy. This is that same product I was showing you earlier on what was known as that Storm Prediction Center meso-analysis here. Anything above 1,000 is going to be indicative for strong thunderstorms. That's anything in this blue color. Notice a lot of that over our region here. Some indications of 2,000 over areas just to the west. And that's true also on the European model here, where again we're seeing 1,000 to 2,000 of this thunderstorm energy. That will allow storms to kind of rapidly form, gain some speed with their updrafts, and cause localized areas of low pressure in the storms to form to drive very strong winds in the storm. And of course, that's what storms like to see when they are producing strong storms. Now today, this dashed line would be a little bit further out here, so that would be indicating winds that could be very, very strong. This would be up to 60-mile-an-hour winds that we're seeing here. Remember, the area in between our temperature and our parcel line, this dashed line, is what's known as that thunderstorm energy. The more of that you have, the better chance you have at strong storms. This is definitely showing, again, at least 1,000 of this thunderstorm energy right there. So that's a close eye that we're going to have to watch. Now, the winds increasing with speed with height is not quite as impressive. Our graph is not showing very long areas of that, so we're going to have to keep a close eye. Shear or winds changing speed with height may be a little bit difficult to come by here, but certainly, again, strong storms will be possible. Remember, this is a vertical look of the atmosphere as you go up with height. This is the ground, and of course, this is high up in the sky. And that's a great tool we like to use to find exactly what we're seeing. I mentioned the graphs of the wind. There is decent enough shear. Again, increasing winds with height. Anything above 30 would be indicative of a line of storms that could be a possibility moving through. Certainly the European model here is showing that we could have an organized line of storms pushing through Thursday evening. The American model kind of showing the same thing if it wants to load here. Maybe a little bit less in terms of that intensity, but still showing that same deal where a few of those storms, if they go up, will stay organized, could create some gusty wind problems. So we're watching Thursday, although it's a little bit lower of a risk. The Storm Prediction Center right now has out what's known as a marginal risk, a level 1 of 5 of severe weather. Meanwhile, today we're in that enhanced risk, level 3 of 5 of severe weather. The higher the number, of course, the worse your chances of seeing some better weather will be. So your better chances of severe weather, that will be kind of in place. We got some interesting patterns to go on as well after we get through the end of this week. It's very, very uncertain heading forward here. And we can thank, of course, lack of really reliable data that we will be looking at. I want to show you the map, set it in motion here, and show you what the European model is really showing. Notice that green blob right in here over much of the southern portions of the United States, the middle portions of the United States. Right in there is that blob. That is indicative of what's known as a cutoff low. What's a cutoff low? A cutoff low is an area of clouds, an area of precipitation that will set up shop over one specific area. It doesn't like to move. It's very, very kind of stationary. The European model really bullish on showing that, and we'll kind of zoom on in and give you another idea. After Saturday comes through, that little system right there just does not want to move. It stays stationary for a while, at least on the European model. The American model might be a little different. But if this comes true, you're talking about multiple days of light rain, cooler temperatures, lots of clouds. It's really not the best kind of week showing up here. The American model showing much different things, though. Let's take a look at that. This has that cutoff low over the Atlantic Ocean. So after Saturday, you'll notice clear conditions overhead. We won't be seeing a whole lot of rain activity if this verifies. In fact, we'll see a lot more sunshine enter into the area. European model, different story. This is Saturday. Notice the rain continuing to hold tough. It continues on Sunday, and it continues on Monday, and it continues on Tuesday, etc., etc., etc. It really is uncertain at this point. My hunch feeling, remember, it's called a cutoff low. In my experience forecasting, you never trust a model showing a cutoff low. Those typically don't really pan out to what the model is thinking. But we'll ultimately see what happens next week. The Climate Prediction Center not really buying what the Euro's putting out there. In fact, their 10-day temperature outlook shows us above normal in terms of temperatures. So we should be back into the 80s in the long-term forecast, at least according to the Climate Prediction Center. Meanwhile, precipitation-wise, they have us drier than normal. So again, they're not really buying that cutoff low. We'll see if this changes over the coming days, but as far as now, I'm not buying it. They don't seem to be buying it. What that means is by next week, we should start to warm you up, and we should start to see some more sunshine and better weather as we head into the first week of May. Can you believe that? This is First Alert Plus. We air every Tuesday, 6:45 p.m. Give you the latest updates on what you need to know to prepare for any weather that could be headed your way. We stream on all of WSAZ's digital platforms, including YouTube, including Facebook, including WSAZ.com. And again, we continue to give you that first alert when you need it. In the meantime, have a great Tuesday. If you're watching on YouTube, remember to like and subscribe, and if you're watching on Facebook, like and share.